Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow New Yorkers, the public hearing for the LaGuardia Airport Access Improvement Program Draft Environmental Impact Statement, or EIS, has now begun. The time is 5 p.m. on September 24, 2020. My name is Charles Ramos, and I am the hearing officer for today's public hearing. I am a retired New York State Supreme Court Justice, but my role today is not judicial. My role is to ensure that this hearing is conducted in an orderly manner, which maximizes the public's opportunity to comment on the draft environmental impact statement. The purpose of today's hearing is to receive public comments on the draft EIS in accordance with the policies and procedures of the National Environmental Policy Act, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the New York State Eminent Domain Procedure Law. A brief welcome and project overview will now be given.
Welcome to the FAA's virtual public hearings for the Draft Environmental Impact Statement, or EIS, for the LaGuardia Airport Access Improvement Project. I'm Andrew Brooks, Environmental Program Manager for the FAA Eastern Region and one of the project managers for the FAA EIS team. The LaGuardia Airport Access Improvement Project is a proposal by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to provide an automated people mover system between LaGuardia Airport and public transit stations located at Metz-Willets Point. The purpose of the project is to provide a time-certain transportation option that connects airport passengers and employees to and from LaGuardia as travel times to and from the airport continue to increase and become more unpredictable. Additionally, this transportation option should ensure adequate parking for airport employees. The draft EIS for the proposed project was published on August 21st. The purpose of these public hearings is for FAA to listen to your comments on the draft EIS for consideration as the agency works toward a final decision. A public hearing is a formal process that has a designated public hearing officer who presides over the meeting. The public hearing officer will give additional instructions on providing oral comments at the beginning of each public hearing. This is one of 3 public hearings that are being conducted for the LaGuardia Airport Access Improvement Project Draft EIS. The public hearings are being recorded, and transcripts of all oral comments will be included in the final EIS. Written comments received during the comment period will also be included in the final EIS. This public hearing is being conducted in accordance with the provisions of the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, and the Council on Environmental Quality implementing regulations for NEPA. This public hearing is also being held to comply with the requirements of New York State's eminent domain procedure law, as construction of the proposed project would require acquisition of property by the New York State Department of Transportation. The eminent domain procedure law requires the condemner, so in this case, the New York State Department of Transportation, to conduct a public hearing in order to inform the public and to review the public use to be served by the proposed project, as well as the impact on the environment and residents of the local project area. The FAA encourages you to review the individual information stations that are available on the project website. Each station provides information related to different aspects of the LaGuardia Airport Access Improvement Project, including the NEPA process, EIS process, draft EIS overview, and each of the environmental resources studied. Based on an analysis of the proposed action compared to the no action alternative, the FAA has determined that the proposed action would have a significant impact on the environment, specifically to Section 4F properties, historic properties, traffic, environmental justice populations, and visual effects. The proposed action would also cause noise and vibration impacts, but those impacts would be less than significant and would be reduced further with incorporation of mitigation. Additionally, with implementation of mitigation identified in the draft EIS, impacts to historic properties and traffic would be less than significant. The Port Authority has also committed to incorporating mitigation measures to reduce potential effects to biological resources, coastal resources, hazardous materials, solid waste and pollution prevention, and water resources. The draft EIS was published on August 21st, starting a 45-day public comment period that closes on October 5th. The FAA encourages all interested parties to provide comments on the draft EIS. Comments should be as specific and substantive as possible so that the FAA can consider them in making the agency's decision and to adequately address and respond to them in the final EIS. There are 5 ways to submit comments: by email at comments@lgaaccesseis.com, on the website at https://www.lgaaccesseis.com/formal-comment, by mail to Mr. Andrew Brooks at the FAA Eastern Regional Office, 1 Aviation Plaza, Jamaica, New York, 11434, orally by leaving a voicemail at 855-LGA-EIS-9 or 855-542-3479, and orally at the public hearings. Any individual wishing to make an oral comment during the public hearings must register first in order to provide their comments. The time allocated for each individual commenter will be 3 minutes. Your turn to speak will be scheduled in the order it is received. Registration and instructions for the public workshops and hearings are available on the project website at https://www.lgaaccesseis.com. Please note that during the public hearings, FAA will not provide any responses or questions or engage in discussions. The purpose of the public hearing is for the FAA to listen to your comments for consideration as we work toward a final decision. Thank you for participating in the public review process of the draft EIS.
Thank you, Andrew. Today's hearing is scheduled to conclude at 7 p.m. Panelists for this hearing who will be listening to your comments are Andrew Brooks and Marie Genet with the Federal Aviation Administration, Kathleen Joy with the New York State Department of Transportation, Hirsch Parek with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and Steve Culberson with Ricondo and Associates. As noted by Mr. Brooks, comments regarding the draft environmental impact statement can be made in one of 5 ways. One way is by making a public statement during today's public hearing. All comments, no matter how they are provided, will be considered by the FAA in the finalization of the environmental impact statement and the issuance of the project decision. Written comments will be accepted until 5 p.m. on October 5, 2020. Please note that there are over 50 participants who have pre-registered to speak at today's hearing. If you have not pre-registered to speak, we may not be able to accommodate additional speakers during today's hearings. If you wish to make a public statement during this hearing and did not register beforehand, please indicate that you would like to provide oral comments on the Q&A tab in the Zoom window. Your request will be received by one of the monitors. If there is time to accommodate additional speakers, we will call your name after everyone else that has pre-registered has provided their comments. If you are attending this meeting on your phone and wish to provide oral comments, please text your name to area code 301-531-5996. I'll repeat that. 301-531-5996. If you have a question regarding the hearing process or procedures, please type your question into the question and answer tab on the Zoom window. If you are watching this hearing on the FAA Facebook or YouTube channels and wish to make a comment, you must join the Zoom meeting and use the Q&A tab on the Zoom window. Instructions on how to join the Zoom meeting are on the project website at www.lgaaccesseis.com. Speakers will be called in the order that they registered. When your name is called, you must click on the microphone symbol next to your name in the Zoom window to unmute your microphone. If you are dialing in on your phone, please press *6 to unmute your line from your phone. Please note that video cameras have been disabled so that the sign language interpreter can be adequately viewed by the attendees. When you make your comments, please state and spell your name to the stenographer, and then proceed with your comments. Please note that no questions concerning the project will be accepted or answered by me, the hearing officer, the FAA, or the panelists during today's hearing. In the interest of providing all speakers the opportunity to speak on the record, please limit your comments today to 3 minutes. A notification will appear on the screen when 3 minutes is up as an indication that you should wrap up your comments. If time permits, speakers will be provided additional opportunity to speak after everyone else desiring to speak has spoken. While you are limited to the length of your comments here, there is no size limit to written comments. All comments made here today will be recorded by a certified stenographer and will be included in the final environmental impact statement. An American Sign Language interpreter will be signing throughout the hearing. If you wish to provide comments in American Sign Language and did not indicate that when you made your registration, please type your request in the question and answer box. During this public hearing, we ask that speakers refrain from demonstrating aggressive behaviors. This includes using discriminatory language, personal insults, and obscenity. The event organizer reserves the right to mute or remove any speakers who violate these standards of conduct. I'm now going to try to call on the speakers who have registered in the order in which they have registered. So when I state your name, please unmute your microphone, state your name, and then spell it for the stenographer, and then continue with your comments. The first one I have is Annette Gill. Annette, are you available to us today? Unmute the microphone. *6 on your phone. Leo Sang. Leo, are you here today? Fred Hetzel. Fred, are you here? Karen Imas, are you here today? Karen? Eric Alexander? Thomas King? Thomas, are you here? Connie Crawford? Remember to press *9 to raise your hand so we'll know that you want to speak if you're coming in on the phone. Alexander Bruno. George Haikalis. George, I guess we've done such a good job in the other hearings, nobody else wants to speak. Joseph Miguel. Andrew Sparberg. Speak up if you're there. Frank Taylor.
Yes, I'm Andrew Sparberg. I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. Andrew, please spell your name for the stenographer and then give us your comments.
Yes, my name, first name Andrew, A-N-D-R-A-W, last name Sparberg, S-P-A-R-B as in boy, E-R-G as in George. And let me state, I am a retired Long Island Railroad manager and longtime New York City transit professional. And I really am not in favor of this project, not because I'm against airport access, but I really think it is a poor idea to make people to go east and then to go west, to make them transfer at Citi Field. And then for many people who want to go to Long Island would have to transfer again at Woodside. I think it's a far better idea, especially in the austerity situation we're in now, to have a better dedicated Q70 bus service to Woodside, where there are all kinds of transfer possibilities to get to just about every place in Queens and Nassau and Suffolk counties. And in addition, that the 30-minute trip that's advertised between LaGuardia and Midtown is only possible under this scheme if one transfers to the Long Island Railroad Port Washington branch and goes to Penn Station. That total trip from LaGuardia to Penn would be exactly half an hour. To go anyplace else in Manhattan would be more than 30 minutes. And I have the statistics to prove it. I'm not going to show it to you now. I'm going to send a more detailed comment to your website. So I just want to let you know that.
Good.
Okay, so that concludes my comment.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think we found Karen. Karen Imas, are you there, please? I thought we had Karen. Frank Taylor?
Amos.
Karen, there you are.
I just wanted a clarifying point for a moment, and I'm actually not submitting publicly for the record, but we'll be doing so in the written format. There in your registration, it said, "Will you be providing verbal comments during the public hearing?" And I clicked no, just because we weren't prepared to read today, although we'll have a comment to submit in writing. So I'm just wondering if you're getting a lot of silence from certain people, because people may have clicked a no to the question that asked, will you be providing verbal comments during the public hearing? So just wanted to make that a clarifying point. I didn't want you to think I'm ignoring you all. I'm listening in attentively and appreciate all the effort here. And we do have a written comment that's coming shortly, but I wasn't prepared to read it in today, which is why I clicked on no. So I'm just wondering if some of the others may have clicked no as well, which is why you're not hearing them on the other line.
Thank you. That's very thoughtful. Alexander Bruno. Alexander, do you wish to speak today? I think you're there, Alex. I hope you are. If not, Frank Taylor, do we have Frank? Michael Ben Habib?
Yes, hi, this is Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Please spell your name for the stenographer and then give us your comments.
Thank you. My name is Michael Ben-Habib. My last name is spelled B-E-N-H-A-B-I-B. I'll spell that again. Bravo, Echo, November, Hotel, Alpha, Bravo, India, Bravo. And my comments. So I support this project as a New York City patriot who has been waiting for this for 25 years. I think the knee-jerk opposition is insane, and I decided to pipe up. First, the opponents don't get that this isn't the JFK air train with its long ride and 10 stops. It's going to be much more like a real short, quick, on-airport people mover, of which there are many examples of a similar length. Say the Link train in Toronto, or the CDG Vale train at Paris de Gaulle, which you need to take to reach Terminal 1. There's also an example at Gatwick in London. Nobody complains that those short 1 to 2 mile long trains are 2-seat rides, because everyone understands that the people mover portions of those trips are really freaking short. And by the way, newsflash, total transit time from Midtown will beat the connections from the city centers in those cities I mentioned. So I'm sure frequent travelers will like this option. I'm sure they'll take it. And people complain about the Long Island Railroad schedules. Newsflash again, it's 2020. People have smartphones and can check schedules on their phones. Second, another point, for the community activists who want to preserve the rundown Dunkin' Donuts gas station and the dilapidated Grand Central Parkway waterfront, you're all convinced that the air train will be an eyesore. you're just wrong. The Vancouver SkyTrains are beautiful. They run silently overhead. They're straight out of the Jetsons. But okay, I guess you love your highway. If you want to improve the neighborhood, if you're a politician, for example, who wants to improve the neighborhood, I think you should wake up and use this project as your opportunity. Think about it. Eventually, the LaGuardia rental cars might move to Willard's Point, giving you new plots of land for parks and community centers and YMCAs and affordable housing. If you block this project, the money, it's Port Authority money, it's just going to go maybe to New Jersey. You really want the money to be spent in New Jersey for a new terminal at Newark or something? Keep it here, keep it in the city. And one final point, buses. Buses aren't going anywhere. I heard the gentleman earlier talking about buses. The AirTrain is an opportunity to expand bus service, given that the Q70 is overcrowded. So we get some people off the Q70. Maybe we extend the Q70. Maybe it goes to Greenpoint in Brooklyn to connect to the G train. Maybe buses in Flushing are extended to terminate at Willard's Point. There are lots of options. Instead of just complaining and whining, I think this could be a great opportunity to make LaGuardia the best connected airport for all parts of New York City. We've been looking at alternatives for 30 years. I think we should go for it. You know, again, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Time is up. Thank you.
I think we have found Jason Anthony. Jason, are you there? If not, then we have Marino Arsti. Marino, do we have you there? Aristi. Oh, we have Ms. Guzman.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Spell your name for the stenographer, please.
Yes, my name is Natalia, Natalia, Guzman, Guzman. So I want to begin by saying that I am totally in support of using union labor for any and all public transportation and city construction and development projects. I, however, oppose this project to create an air train, and I mean the whole proposal, because actually in response to what caller Michael Ben-Habib was talking about, based on the projections for ridership, well, I want to actually point out that some of the points about the purpose and need outlined in the executive summary refer to increasing and unreliable travel times between LaGuardia and key locations within New York City, and limited passenger and employee access to and from LaGuardia primarily via roadway access. Now, according to the affected environmental consequences, the estimated ridership, so the share that the automated people mover would have, would be about 16.8%, 17.2% by 2031, or maybe lower according to the FAA, 11.7% and 12% respectively. And that actually the share that would decrease by taxis would only be about 7% decrease. So it would go from about a 50% share of passengers using taxis to about 43.7% with that shared with this proposal. So that's actually not a big decrease in passengers being moved using taxis, using cars, using the Grand Central. So the extent to which and the resources required to construct this don't really make sense in terms of how much would decrease in the use of roadways, according to what the executive summary purpose and needs declare. So it seems to me that this is not really the solution to the problem and the need that is being outlined. As somebody who lives in East Elmhurst, I live on 25th Avenue and 96th Street. This would actually affect my quality of life, both in terms of environmental and socioeconomic impacts. And I also, and my use of the 7 train line as well. I think that I think people who would work at the airport, and myself as somebody who lives in the neighborhood, would benefit more from these resources being used to extend a subway line that would go into the airport, such as what London Heathrow uses. I mean, they have the tube that also goes to the Heathrow airport. Instead of creating this whole new system that isn't really gonna actually reduce by very much the impact of using the roadways as stated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Jocelyn Estrella, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful. Spell your name for the stenographer, please.
YOSELINGENAOESTRELLA. Greetings, my name is Jocelyn Henao Estrella, and I am Executive Director of Neighborhood Housing Services of Queens. For 25 years, we have been helping thousands of low to moderate income residents to continue to live in Queens by sustainably achieving homeownership, preserving their home, and obtain access to affordable rental housing. Each year, we serve more than 5,000 clients, primarily Latinos and African Americans, mostly in our targeted areas within community boards 1 through 4. Working in partnership with government and businesses, NHS of Queens is led by local residents and guided by local needs. The communities that we serve have faced high housing costs and high rates of underemployment. These conditions have exacerbated by COVID-19 because community of color have been disproportionately affected both physically and economically. The proposed air train could offer potential economic advantages to the community as we recover from this crisis. However, we cannot lose sight of the fact that projects like this must all have community engagement and community benefit. The air train project must offer adequate resources to mitigate any impact it might have on the surrounding communities. Toward this end, the Port Authority must commit to the following: the creation of the LaGuardia Housing Fund to develop affordable housing and fund it through 15% of the net profit of the air train. $10 million to fund a job training program that could include job readiness program, skill programs, career ladder programs. A first source hiring system to target job opportunities for residents of the impacted areas, and the establishment and uses of apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs for local residents. A minimum of $10 million allocated for noise mitigation, including soundproofing program, especially for homeowners. A much needed multi-purpose community center, and the use of solar energy that includes energy to the promenade and the LMI local residents. We hope that the Port Authority continues to listen to local stakeholders and involve them in the decision-making process, as it is the communities and their lives who will be impacted by this project. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Do we have Beryl Major there? Are you available, Beryl? Beryl Major? If not, Thomas Mccann? Beryl, Thomas? No one here?
Hello?
Hello, who is
Hello?
it?
This is Beryl Major.
Please spell your name for the stenographer and then we'll have your comments.
Okay, no problem. Beryl, and the last name is Major.
Let's have your comments.
Okay. Before I begin, I was kind of taken aback by a former speaker, and I like that all to know that this is a working and middle class community. It's not run down. The retail stores, it can use some economic infusion, and that's why we are on this hearing to talk about that. But I think derogatory remarks about people not knowing things and their level, your opinion of their level of ignorance, it blinds people to what you really have to say. So I just wanted to begin by saying we must remember the state of affairs of this community. We were number one with COVID, as some other speakers have said, with deaths for months as a result of COVID. We have a high rate of shelters because of the empty hotels. We have a high unemployment that is hovering around 15%. We bore the burden for decades of Rikers Island, a prison in our community. We are a working and middle-class community that is now bearing the brunt of not only the expansion of an airport in our backyard, but now the air train. But that people see as sliced bread, and as some people, they're differing opinions. And I don't have a real problem with that. But what I think we need, as the former speaker spoke about, are some benefits to the community. I don't have as much of a cost outline, but I certainly have some things that we do need. And that is where there are going to be jobs. I'm concerned, even though some people are strongly in support of the union labor, I think there needs to have a plan, strategic plan, because to get involved with total union labor will, some of the people in this community will not, a lot of the people in this community will not qualify because of the process. So we need to think through how that's going to work so people in this community that bear a high unemployment will be employed. My other thing is we need to have a panel that's made up of community residents that can collaborate with those in the government sector side, because frankly, there was mention some days ago about $500 million, even though it might have been for Queens. I'd like to know what percentage is for this community. I'd like to know where the air monitors are situated, because we are going to have problems, even you admit in your report, we're going to have problems for years to come, because yes, it may not fall on the air, but then it falls on the air, but then it falls on the ground, and it lasts for years, and people may have health problems. We need a health clinic in this community that is focused on geriatrics and pediatrics, because those are the two vulnerable residents.
We're running over the 6 minutes. Try to wind it up.
Okay, I will. There's senior housing, which Jocelyn had spoken about. And that's basically it. I have a lot more, but I guess I'll have to submit it. But the important thing is a community panel that will partner and monitor the different benefits or things that will occur as a result of this construction. Thank you very much for giving me the time.
Thank you, Beryl.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have Thomas Mccain? Thomas Mccann, are you there? Thomas, if you're using the phone, *6 or *9 will unmute the microphone. Sharon DeVivo. Sharon, are you there? Thomas Mccann, Sharon DeVivo.
Hello, this is Sharon DeVivo.
Oh, wonderful. Spell your name, please, for the stenographer.
Sure. Sharon, D as in Darren, E, V as in Victor, I, V as in Victor, O. And I'm the president of Vaughn College of Aeronautics and Technology. We are located right across the street from LaGuardia Airport between 23rd Avenue and Ditmars Boulevard. We offer bachelor's, master's, and associate degrees in all aspects of aviation, engineering, management, including airport management and technology. There are 3 reasons why we support the AirTrain. The first is our campus is bounded by a favorite parking area for for-hire vehicles. And while the area is much quieter now, I'd like to think this is what it will be like when we have an AirTrain. Much of the on-street parking is taken by these for-hire vehicles waiting for a possible request from LaGuardia Airport. They leave a tremendous amount of garbage and refuse, and in the winter, they are idling their vehicles, contributing to air quality problems. The second reason is many of our students who travel to campus will take advantage of the ease of mass transit, which will now eliminate the need for them to take the Q33 bus, as well as the M60, and hoping to cut down on the amount of students that would travel here by car as well. The third reason, a world-class airport deserves a world-class transportation system that gets riders to and from the airport in a manner that signals to visitors that this is a modern, forward-thinking city that cares about the most efficient way to move people to and from our airports. Vaughn College is in support of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is identified as Lucy R. We only have the first letter of your last name. Is Lucy there? Apparently not. Marie O'Quinn.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Please spell your name for the stenographer and then proceed with your comments.
Well, actually, my name is Aretha O'Quinn, and it's ARETHAO''QUINN. And I'd like to make a statement on behalf of myself, having been born and raised in East Elmhurst, and my parents who still reside in East Elmhurst today. For over 60 years, my family has owned homes and businesses in the Corona East Elmhurst community. We have seen many transitions, both positive and negative. And while we welcome change for the better, understanding that our community will bear the brunt of additional development, we would like to see a benefit for the community. For far too long, it has been the residents of Corona East Elmhurst that have had to rally together to provide opportunities and services for our families, be it the formation of Elm Corps in the 60s when there wasn't a YMCA or Boys and Girls Club to provide recreational activities for our youth or our services for our seniors, rallying together to clean up our parks and city streets from trash, hosting fundraisers to provide scholarships to our local youth, to name a few. Our community organizations created for people of color in our community are underfunded, making access to many resources limited. So here are a few things we would like to see for our community. A community center for youth and seniors in East Elmhurst. My mom goes to the local senior center, and they have been trying to find a new space to accommodate the seniors in the community for over a decade. Affordable senior housing for aging homeowners in the community that are unable to maintain their homes, need access to quality, affordable housing in their vested community where they have roots instead of being forced to grow anew. Establishing local health care facilities. If COVID has taught us nothing, is that our community is vulnerable. Soundproofing of homes close to the construction to help decrease the noise impact. More parking for airport staff, construction workers, and travelers. My 84-year-old mom often has to drive around for nearly an hour searching for parking in the evening. A park conservancy to maintain the Flush and Bay Promenade. And last but not least, quality, good paying jobs and careers for our local residents in the 11369 and 11368 zip codes. I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. The next speaker I think we have is Kesav Gupta.
Hello, my name is Kesav Gupta, KESAV-GUPTA. I'm a 12-year-old native New York City resident, and I strongly oppose this project. This project is not worthwhile. It's a $2 billion project where a much better option would be extending the N or W trains from the current terminus or creating a busway with the Q70. The current air train project, while I support the increases in new jobs to bring back New York City to what it used to be before COVID-19, is not worthwhile because the 7 train is already very crowded during rush hours. Being a native New Yorker who rides it very often, it's packed during rush hours. You can't squeeze more people onto the 7 train. The LIRR doesn't even go to Metz Willets Point when it's not a game day. And also the LIRR, there's no more space at Penn Station to run more trains to Penn Station. So unless you had more money to run more trains and to expand the current East River tunnels that carry the LIRR into Penn Station, even with East Side access, there won't be enough trains to carry everyone. And on top of that, MTA doesn't have the funding. As we know right now, they have a multiple billion-dollar deficit. So I don't know where they're going to get the funding to run more trains, even if there was more capacity. And we really need to help the community. So if we can work with the community to make community-oriented projects, work with the community to see what they really need, as this will require people to transfer, and it's not a one-seat ride, where there's other options that are a lot better for the entire of New York City. People don't have to transfer. It makes it much more complicated for people. I think that a study should go through an extension of the N&W trains towards LaGuardia Airport, and also improvements to the Q70 bus. Thank you.
Thank you, Peppa. We're going to try for Thomas Mccann again. Thomas, are you there?
Yes, I am. Do you hear me?
Wonderful. Yes, we do. Please spell your name and give us your comments.
Thomas, THOMAS, as a Jackson Heights resident all my life, I've lived there up until my adulthood. It's a very busy neighborhood with traffic, people going back and forth. This would definitely alleviate traffic in the neighborhood, make it a lot easier for people to get to and from. If I'm actually working on the LaGuardia project right now. It's a great project. It's going to be spectacular when it's done. This would only add to its benefit. I'm totally in support of this project. I think it should go through. And if you notice in that area in the morning, people parking, trying to walk on the highways, get to work, get to LaGuardia, this would alleviate any possible problems that would happen in the future as far as accidents and dangerous situations that arise with people trying to get to that airport right now by foot, bicycle, scooter, everything else that are possible under the sun that they try to get to work. The air train would make it much more safe for the residents of everybody in Queens and the New York City area. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. I think the next speaker will be Kimberly Detharaj. Kimberly, are you there? Kimberly?
Hello, I had written that I would make a written statement. I would not make an oral statement at this time.
Oh, that's fine. You have until October 5.
Hello?
Kimberly?
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right. Then
Thank you.
Then the next one will be Darnell Childs. Darnell Childs. Darnell, are you there? If not, Gregory Coles. Gregory Coles or Johnny Evers.
Yes, I'm John Evers.
Yes, sir. Spell your name for the stenographer, please.
Gregory Coles.
No, let's see. We have Gregory?
Yes, we do.
Oh, wonderful. Gregory, spell your name for the stenographer and let us have your comments, please.
Gregory Coles, Coles, longtime resident of East Elmhurst. Been in the community for a long time. I think that's a development that needs to go through because economic development is what we need to have in the community. I think that I'm a business owner who deals with the children all the time. And the one thing I'm looking at is the youth. I don't think a lot of people are talking about the youth in the future. I think that right now what we need to have is to try to get the community to get more advanced and get a high school involved so that the kids can have a place to go to. Right now, we have a lot of junior high schools being built, but then the kids have to go out of the area to go to high school. And at this present time, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a 8th grade in my present location that we've been in a child's place for 40 years. And right now, when they leave, they have no place to go. I think that if we can work with the community, that we can get a development and that they can get a community center there along with a high school, that we can develop from the high school to also a STEM program that can go into Bond College, which is right across the street, to give the kids some kind of ambition to try to move forward in what we're trying to do. We've been working with the community for a while. I've been around, and when the Marriott project came, they talked about giving us jobs, and we lost the jobs there. And I don't even, if you know, a long time ago with Flushing Meadow Park, we were involved in there, and with Elm Court Youth and Adult Activity Center, they had a program that we were involved in, and they took it away from us. So we need to have something to give us a little more stabilization in the community. And I think that with the rental cars going maybe on site on the airport, that there'd be a lot of development that could be happening in our community to enhance in what we're trying to do. And I think a high school would be very appropriate to try to put there. And we have to realize that this is going to take a while. And with the development of a high school, we can also do economic development, and we can also do training. We're right here with the airport. If we can train our kids to be a little bit more involved in the community and involved with the airport and go through Bond College, they can go to college along with getting a job and staying in the community. We're losing a lot of our kids. They're going out of our area because they can't stay here because they haven't have the training. We have to train them better. I like the things that happen in our area so that we can continue to move with economic development and with jobs. And if we can also try to look a little further and looking at the ferry, to try to put a ferry in our area. I know you got to stop right there in by City Field, but if we can also do the ferry that we had maybe a long time ago and make a stop where the ferry comes in and they pick up drop them at the ferry and drop them at the airport, and at the same time period we can have economic development. So some of the local entrepreneurs can maybe have some kind of concession stand, and we can more or less develop the area right there along the stop with the AirTran would be a lot to happen. And for right now, I like for something to happen. I know it might not happen in my lifetime, okay, but I wish it would happen sometime soon so we can get everybody more involved in it. We've been being shortchanged in this area right now with a lot of things that's happening. The AirTran right now as it comes through really doesn't benefit us. So it has to be a community benefit to try to make us try to go with it and see what kind of benefits the community can get out of it. And if we can work together, it would be a lot.
You're running way
try
over.
to make it go. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. All right, I think we're going to try to get to Johnny Evers.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't have that unmuted.
Okay.
My name is John Evers, E-V-E-R-S, John with an H. I serve as the Senior Director of Government Affairs for the Business Council of New York State. The Business Council represents over 2,300 member companies throughout the state. And we serve as both the National Association of Manufacturers and the U.S. Chamber affiliates for our state. My responsibility is public transportation. Specific to this project, I'll note that several major airlines are members of the Business Council. In fact, every single industry from the production of aircraft, the operation of airlines and airports, fuel, construction, and all related commerce and industry are represented by the Business Council. Similarly, all of these industries are linked together in the operation of LaGuardia and the other airports in New York State. Thus, the Business Council is not only interested in the continued operation of airports, but the expansion of them. My purpose today is simple: to make our public support for the AirTrain LaGuardia project. Rather than repeat specifics of the physical project, I'll concentrate on the obvious economic and transportation benefits. It's been noted that the project is a long time in the making. As a result of detailed engineering and planning, this project will greatly improve the transit of persons from Manhattan to LaGuardia. Specifically, and this has been noted several times, ensure a fast and reliable route for 50% of LaGuardia passengers originating and terminating in Manhattan. The project will connect the public transportation networks throughout the area. We've talked about the modernization, focusing on Willets Point, linking Grand Central, Penn Station, the 7 Line, improved interconnections with the Long Island Railroad. It will divert congestion from the roads, limit the number of transfers on existing subways, and is designed to fit into existing public road and transportation infrastructure. In economic terms, one of the key areas that Business Council New York State follows, it should be noted that the project will complement many multi-million-dollar infrastructure projects at LaGuardia. This new $2.05 billion investment in the air train promises over 3,000 jobs during construction phase, employing industries ranging from engineering and design to every level of construction through its planned completion in only 3 to 4 years. The multiplier effect will impact every industry from construction on site to the airlines, the Port Authority, and the businesses located in and around LaGuardia. With these benefits in mind, the Business Council supports the AirTrain project and urges the FAA to grant the environmental impact statement and allow the project. I appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to give one last call out to Darnell Childs. Darnell, are you there? If not, we'll go to Michael Bua. Darnell? Michael Bua? How about Nayan? I can't pronounce this. Parikh? Nayan?
Hello,
Christopher.
Charles.
Oh, Michael Bua. Wonderful.
Hi, Charles. How you doing?
We're doing
Uh,
fine.
My name is Michael Bua, MICHAEL BUA. I'm in full support of this project. I think it'll relieve traffic and will stimulate the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I think we have Kimberly Detheridge. Did we find you, Kimberly? I'm striking out. How about Thomas Milton? I don't have a Thomas Milton on my list. Or maybe I do. There we go, Thomas Milton. The next would be John Passanisi. Oh, we got Kenneth. Good. Kenneth, can you hear me? Your name came up for a second. We can't hear you. Unmute your mic. There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Who is this? This is Judge Ramos. Who are you? There goes that mic again. Well, maybe we'll get him back. He just dropped for some reason. Thomas Milton. We don't have Thomas Milton. Maybe Kenneth will come back to us. Christopher Bosick.
This is Thomas Milton.
Thomas, please spell your name for the record and let us have your comment.
THOMAS Milton, MILTON. I am speaking in favor of this project, the many construction jobs that will be created, and with that, the permanent jobs thereafter, hopefully for local people in the communities. The construction jobs are also people within the 5 boroughs that will be working on this site. I think it's good for the environment. It will alleviate traffic, noise pollution, and hopefully alleviate a little bit of the air quality. That is my comment. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Thomas. We have John Passanini. John, are you out there? And Kenneth Butner? He dropped out. Charles D'Souza. I think we had Charles. We tried to get him earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
Nayan Parikh is here.
Oh, please spell your name for the stenographer and let us have your comments.
Sure. My name is Nayan Parikh. I represent Nayan. That's my first name. Last name is P as in Peter, ARIKH.
Let
I
us have,
represent National Association for Minority Contractors. It's a 53-year-old organization. I also represent New York Tri-State Minority Construction Association. This project is very, very good for New York State and New York City because normally we have 30% reservation for the minority construction companies. And as you all aware, that New York City is right now in a very, very difficult situation financially, as well as New York State also. So if this project will happen, that will really, really bring a lot of work and supports the jobs. That will be direct help. And the economy of New York City will completely change. So I'm in full support of this project. Thank you very much.
thank you for your comments. Christopher Bosick.
Yes, hello.
Oh, wonderful. Please spell your name for the stenographer and let us have your comments.
Sure. Christopher, Christopher, Bosick, Bossick. I'm in favor of this project 100%. I believe this will give a much needed transit hub from LaGuardia Airport out, as well as provide much needed jobs, as long as they're union building trades jobs, to provide, some type of relief after Corona and to stimulate some economy back in for New York City. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christopher. Kenneth Butner, you've rejoined us. Kenneth, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. My name is Kenneth Butner, KNNETH,
He's got some mic problems there. He's getting a lot of feedback.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
that sounds better. Kenneth.
Okay, sorry.
Can you hear me?
My name is Mccann.
Let's try spelling your name once more for the stenographer.
Sure. Kenneth, N-B-T-T-E-R.
I think we have mic problems here. Let's see if we can, we had Christopher, didn't we? Can we try the microphone again? No? How about John Passanini? John, are you there? Kenneth, I'm going to try you one more time. If you're going to have, if you have mic problems, then send in written comments. All right, let's try Ryan Deloche.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, Carthon.
Yes, hi. My name is Charlton D'Souza.
Wonderful.
Can you
spell
hear
your
me?
name.
Yes, my name is C as in cat, H as in house, A as in apple, R as in rain, L as in light, T as in tag, O as in orange, N as in navel, and then it's D'Souza, D as in dog, S as in school, O as in orange, U as in union, Z as in zebra, and A as in apple. And I am the president of Passengers United. And I am opposed to the air train project. I feel that it's not fair to have this project. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I feel that it's not fair that you're charging people $5.75 or $7 or whatever it is you're going to charge people. And personally, I just feel that you guys at the Federal Aviation Administration and also the Port Authority for New York and New Jersey has overlooked something. And this is what you guys have overlooked. If you've ever been on the 7 train, right after 74th Street, Broadway, there is 69th Street over there. And if you look right by the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, you actually have tracks, cargo tracks, where there's only like one cargo train a day going through those tracks. And those tracks lead right up to the Grand Central Parkway. So why is it y'all cannot build like a monorail? Because those cargo tracks actually go above the Long Island Railroad main line, and they also go right by the 7 line. That actually could be a much quicker alternative, and it would be actually cheaper because you already have the tracks there. You just have to build the platforms and maybe do some, signaling work, and maybe you could do a flyover that goes over the Grand Central and then, would go under the expressway into the airport, something like that. Or you even have the Amtrak Hell's Gate Bridge, where the tracks go over the Grand Central Parkway in Astoria. Why not build like tracks from LaGuardia Airport that either goes over the Grand Central Parkway or under it, and it goes all the way to Astoria Boulevard over there, where that station is, right by the Grand Central. So maybe then people could connect to the N train. I think maybe something like that could be a little bit better. But I feel like this making people go to Willets Point, to me, that's the biggest joke ever. And then people have to get off. First of all, the 7 train is so crowded, it's not even going to be able to accommodate the people from the airport. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be a disaster in the making. So what I would suggest is maybe look at those cargo tracks. I think that's the best thing. It's cheaper to build. The tracks are there, and it connects to the 7 train. It connects to the main line. And actually, eventually, that's going to be part of the BQX connector. So that's going to go through Southern Brooklyn, the Bronx. I think that would be a better bet for the money if you're going to build something like that. As far as the N train to Astoria, that sounds like a good idea. It does. But the problem is you would have to build part of the tunnel in a residential neighborhood. That's going to affect the residents in that busy Astoria area. And I don't think that that's going to work. Like I said, I'm not a transportation expert, but I feel that this plan to have people go all the way to Willets Point, and then you could either take the 7 train and the Long Island Railroad. First of all, the Long Island Railroad only runs every 30 minutes. So that's just a bad idea altogether. I just think that maybe for now, you'll need to come up with a busway, and that would work. Thank you so much. I hope you could hear me, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlton. You came through loud and clear. Brian Deloach. Brian,
Brian Deloach?
Yes, wonderful. Spell your name for the stenographer and let us have your comments, please.
Sure. Brian. D. Dave. E. Capital O-A-C-H. I'm in support of this project. Primarily was an instructional job to provide for the workers that are suffering right now in this pandemic. Queens is suffering for a long time. New York is suffering for a long time. The country is suffering for a while because of the pandemic.
Sorry, Mr. Dillo, I'm not able to understand anything. You're buffering and you're coming in and out. Respectfully, sir, your connection is a bit shoddy.
Okay.
I just start over and I'll try it again, sir.
Are you dialing in, Brian?
Okay. I'm going to dial in now. I'll come back. You can come back to me, please.
Okay. All right. Hopefully whoever gets him can deal with that issue. On my list, my next speaker would be, if we don't have John Passanini, how about Gerard Chandler? Gerard Chandler, are you there? How about Countella Chitnis?
Hello.
Gerard.
Hi. How are you, Your Honor?
Good. You're coming through loud and clear.
Thank you.
Your name for the stenographer?
Gerard, Gerard, Chandler, Chandler. I'd like to make a few comments. Some things that people haven't talked about. We went to town hall meetings when they were looking to build the JFK air train, and there was a lot of opposition. And what's happened now is it's become a resounding success. I actually worked on Terminal 4 for about a year and a half, and I found the train to be packed, even when I was going to work at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. JFK has 15,000 more employees than before 9/11/2001 because of TSA and things like that. The roads would be an absolute mess with all these extra employees and no way to get there. A traffic nightmare. The brand new LaGuardia needs this also. They must have a way for the employees and the travelers to get to LaGuardia without using the roads. Everybody must agree the Grand Central Parkway is an absolute nightmare at any given time. So this is a solution to the problem. Just a couple other things. As far as the environmental, some of the JFK Air Train was built over marshland that the environmental concepts were met and taken care of. Where it leaves the Howard Beach A train station is all marshland. My mother grew up over there, and my grandmother's house was taken for eminent domain to build Idlewild Airport in the 40s. This is part of life, and that's just the way things work. And they didn't use the land until 70 years later or 60 years later. The local businesses would be involved in this. There is no question of a doubt. As far as the JFK, the local hardware stores and local delis and all the restaurants and everything were involved in building that project. The economic impact is hard to estimate. Let's see, I just have probably one other thing. I'm a proud local 361 iron worker, as is John Passanisi, who was supposed to speak. And I'm about to retire, so I really have no, other than this is a great thing, I'm probably not going to be able to work on it. I'm just about to retire. Anybody who advocates increased bus service is just increasing traffic. We don't want traffic. We want less traffic. That's kind of it. That's kind of where we are. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gerard.
Have a good night.
Thank you. The next speaker, I hope, will be Kautenia Chitnis. Kautenia.
Unmute.
Oh, no, you're not Joseph. Joseph. Oh, wait.
Hello.
Joseph?
Yeah, this is Joseph Magel. You called me earlier.
Yes.
Mic trouble.
Okay. Spell your name and give us your comments, please.
Joseph, M like Mary, Agel. And I'd like to comment to the fact that I'm in total, this project should go forward. It will alleviate a lot of traffic. I'm sure all of you have seen the news reports over the last year or two of passengers walking on the Grand Central Parkway to catch their flights. I worked on the LaGuardia Airport project for 4 years. It cost billions of dollars, and I feel it would be a big mistake to spend all of that money improving that airport and not improve the transportation facilities to get in and out of there. You also have local communities, residential communities in the area that suffer severely with parking situations. Many of the airport employees, 24 hours a day, take up all the residential parking in those areas. And I feel that this would alleviate a lot of that trouble. And it definitely would create a lot of good paying union jobs. The project would be done safely as a union project. And I believe that eventually we will get back to the normal New York hustle and bustle, and we don't want to fall short having a beautiful upgraded airport with no way to get there. And that's my comment.
Thank you very much, Joe. The next speaker, I hope, will be Kautenia Chitnis. Are you there? I thought we had you earlier. Kautenia Chitnis. Apparently not. Darnell Childs, did we find you, Darnell? We were looking for you before and no, we're still not there. How about Stan Slade? Stan, are you available? Stan Stade. We have it S-T-A-D-E. I hope that's correct. Or Michael Moss. I'm sorry, it's Mitchell Moss. Somebody's there. Stan, Mitchell? Anybody?
This is Ken Butner.
Oh, wonderful. Spell your name for the stenographer, please, and let us have your comments.
Shirley Kenneth, Kenneth, Butner, Buettner. Good evening. Thank you. I am a longtime resident, having been born and raised in northern Queens, attending all my schooling in Queens, and my business is where I work in Long Island City. And for 45 years, I've driven past LaGuardia Airport multiple times a day, going to and from Long Island City in my home. I've flown in and out of LaGuardia Airport and driven family and friends there enough times that I'm almost an expert on travel in there. I remember flying out of there from the original terminal that was ripped down when they built the one that is about to be demolished. So I have a little bit of history here. The airport grounds and the roadways around it are easily at capacity. We're being offered a common sense method of moving some people to and from the airport. Looking at the JFK air train, it was not expected to do anywhere near as well as it has turned out to do. Those projections should carry as well at LaGuardia, bringing not only business people and travelers, but also employees of the airport to and from their work. Buses work, but buses rely upon ground transportation areas, highways, local streets. They are one method, they are not the only. The number 7 train is crowded, but capacity will increase in the future with new technology allowing greater headway between trains. The Long Island Railroad will also be going not just to Penn, but also to Grand Central Station with 2 locations in Manhattan. The other alternatives are also very nice. However, none of them are ideal. In fact, the placement of LaGuardia Airport itself is not ideal. No sane person would today build the 20th busiest airport in the United States on a postage stamp wedged between the Grand Central Parkway and Flushing Bay. However, we have that situation and we have to do the best with what we've got. Building the air train is not a panacea, but it is good, it is common sense, it is the most expedient and effective way to do what we would all like to do. I urge it to be constructed and quickly. As a businessman, I travel to other cities by air. When I get there, I look for a rail transport connection because that is always the easiest way to go. Other business people traveling to New York look for the same thing, and we cannot offer it yet. Let us give them a future that is worthy of the rebuilding of the airport that we have right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. I think Mitchell Moss dialed in. Can we get him on?
Mitchell Moss. Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please give us
Okay.
spell the name for the record and then give us your comments.
Mitchell Moss, Mitchellmoss. I am delighted to speak, and I want to thank you for this opportunity. I grew up 3 miles from LaGuardia Airport. I flew into LaGuardia on Mohawk Airlines in 1956 when I was 7 years old, and I want to congratulate the Port Authority on finally investing in modernizing this airport. It is the most efficient airport. It is under 600 acres, and yet it has 30 million people flying in every year. As the previous speaker said, it's limited because it's bounded by the Bowery Bay and Grand Central. But we now have a modern airport And they have done this by reducing the space for parking and by improving the taxiways and so passengers can go to and from the gate without being together, in fact, sitting on the floor. We have to take advantage of this new airport by making sure that it's accessible. And let me say the transformation of the airline industry, I'm sure you and the FAA know this, but airlines are cutting back on service to middle and smaller cities. LaGuardia is going to be more, not less important in the future because it's going to be serving all the people who are not able to get access to Hartford. It's going to have to go further north. People are going to be coming from Westchester, from Fairfield, from Litchfield County, Connecticut. And this new air train is going to be allowing people coming from the east and the west to come to Willits Park and get on this, the same as the San Francisco International Airport does. I also think it's important to recognize that the air train is connecting passengers to the two of the three biggest hubs in New York, Grand Central and Penn Station. Those are the places where the most New Yorkers are working in Midtown right now. And I think in addition, the growth of Midtown is to the west of Penn Station, where we now have Facebook, we now have Google, and of course the new growth further down. So we're going to have the new economy where it's growing on the west of Manhattan, connected through Penn Station, through the Long Island Railroad. And this is going to allow, in fact, people getting to and from the airport to be able to do this in a way that certainly doesn't mean they have to traverse by car or taxi or Uber Manhattan. Finally, I want to make one more point about this improved air train. We're not going to have everyone on it. We shouldn't. But it does handle the growth. It does handle the way in which we're going to see growth from the north and from parts of Manhattan as well as the other boroughs. Because it's connected to the major subway lines in Manhattan, every New Yorker can be able to get either to Grand Central or to Penn Station, and those coming from the suburbs can get to Willits. I want to say that this airport is going to be vital because international travel to New York is down by 90%. It will not grow in the next 2 years, but we're going to find domestic travel growing faster than international travel. LaGuardia, in other words, is going to be more, not less important in the coming years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitchell. Stan Stade, are you here? We believe we have you next. Stan, are you there?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, we hear you. Just coming through now, loud and clear. Please spell your name for the stenographer and give us your comments.
Okay, my name is Stan Stade, S-T-A-N, capital S-T-A-D-E. Got it?
We've got it.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to call in and tell you that I totally approve of this project and feel that it's going to bring a big boost to the economy in the area. Any project similar to this, they're outlining things that will be taking place as far as other stores or whatever that might come up within this project as it goes along that'll help the whole area. It's also going to bring needed union jobs and opportunities to New York City. Also, it's also going to impact on the environment, the traffic flow that has been talked about before, and also the noise pollution in that area. If you've ever been in that area around, dinner time or so, that place is very noisy. I think with the inclusion of an air train, it's going to be a lot quieter. I worked on the JFK air train with union labor and know that the project will benefit greatly the whole area and the whole environment and witness the benefits of that air train. So I totally approve of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan. Do we have Luigi Duarte available? Luigi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. Please spell your name for the stenographer and give us your comments.
Luigi, L-U-I-G-I, last name Duarte, D-U-A-R-T-E. Hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. I definitely approve of this project. It'll be a great push in the economy. It'll benefit a lot of the people in the area, especially with all the traffic in the Grand Central. Second of all, a lot of people are complaining about transferring everyone into the 7 train. I also think instead of just connecting to Willits Point only, it should have a transfer directly going towards Jamaica Avenue Station. So you can directly transfer from LaGuardia right to JFK if you have a connecting flight. So it'll benefit a lot of people. It'll take a lot of people from the regular MTA train and directly into the other airport. It'll also benefit people traveling from Long Island that would have to go to the airport directly, or vice versa, or in the area of JFK for people that would have to work from one shift to the other and go to LaGuardia Airport. I'm also a union iron worker. I've been working in LaGuardia Airport for the last 3 years. It's definitely helps everyone in the area. Everyone that works there definitely pushes funds into the area, whether it's parking or buying food. It definitely benefits all the businesses in the area. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We've been trying to find Darnell Childs. Is Darnell, are you available? Darnell, are you there? Unmute your microphone.
Unmute. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, how you guys doing this afternoon? All right, so Darnell Childs. I got a Darnell Childs. The name is DARNELL. Childs, CHILDS.
Give us your comments, please.
Yes, sir. So I'm a lifelong resident in East Elmhurst, a homeowner, and I'm committed to the community. I think I'm here to try to help the community drive. We're a close-knit community, a multi-ethnic neighborhood, and a bunch of homeowners. I think the project has the potential to be great, right? The improvements, although disruptive, they're welcome in a sense. However, the AirTran will further exacerbate that there are many disruptions that have already been known, and there are some that we have not seen yet that's on the radar of the everyday resident. I understand that change is difficult and it's impossible to make everyone happy. However, I am also clear that there are some non-negotiables, such as health, safety, economic opportunity, and overall quality of life. And I think those things need to be maintained throughout this project. That's why I'm asking that any proposal to expand the work at LaGuardia, including the AirTran and the AirTrain, have the following items included. And this will ensure that the airport renovations and will accompany addition AirTran, and are not put in place to the expense of the community and the dynamic individuals that make it great. One of those things to me would be job preference. So the residents in our zip codes will have opportunities as well. The 11368, 11369, 11370, and 1173. I would also like us to establish the thresholds of noise and air quality that are a part of the regular health and safety assessments, with the results that are made public made public at appropriate levels. I also like to see the dedication of funds to develop multicultural communities, so for some sites and incentives for the residents of these zip codes as well. And funds for economic development, incentive to bring new businesses and maintain long-standing businesses through Astoria Boulevard and Ditmars Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Darnell. One of our earlier registrants, I think, has shown up. Jason Anthony. Jason, are you available?
Yes, I'm available. Thank you for providing me the opportunity. For the record, my name is spelled Jason. Last name Anthony. I'm the Vice President of Passengers United, and I'm totally opposed to this project since 2017 because it doesn't provide the exact connection you have an overcrowded 7 train already, and you have an unreliable Long Island Railroad service that only benefits one of 11 branches. That is on the North Shore, to be exact, the Port Washington branch. My suggestion is, why not consult with the MTA and build the extension of the Astoria line, the N&W trains, from Astoria Ditmars Boulevard to the airport. And that will become the first airport within New York State to have direct subway service without depending on the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to get to our airports. Because as we speak, I don't ride AirTrain JFK or AirTrain Newark because it's too expensive. And second of all, if you guys go forward with this project, it will impact Flushing Bay and impact MTA assets like the Corona Yard and the Casey Stingle bus depot that you guys haven't spoken to the MTA to see what you guys are going to do with these 2 assets. So I hope that you guys don't go forward with this project, and thank you so much for letting me speak in this forum.
Thank you, Jason. John Schaefer, are you available to us now? John Schaefer.
Oh, hello.
Yes, sir.
My name is John Schaefer. That's JOHN SCHAEFER. And I wholeheartedly approve of this project. I think it's a great idea. It'll be a huge boost for our economy. It'll the tourists to come to our city to visit our beautiful new airport, which we've invested so heavily in already, and for our city in general. But I think it's important to note that construction skills are not something you can learn overnight. Construction sites are inherently dangerous and they're highly skilled jobs. Insurances were through the roof using local unskilled labor. These past couple of years, we've seen around the country several construction sites that suffered catastrophic failures and collapses. They were all done similarly to this using local unskilled non-union labor, and they resulted in multiple fatalities, economic loss, and disruption to their surrounding communities. Using local non-union labor is a recipe for disaster. Now, the New York City building trades have unions that are highly skilled members. They're very experienced in this type of work. We've already successfully completed many projects around the city. Historically, we're the right tool for this job. And there's a tremendous workforce that's waiting and ready to go. There's no wait or training periods, or we're ready. So the non-construction residents, they could benefit from the boost to the economy during the construction, from the use of the local businesses, and with the jobs that will become available after the construction, catering to the tourists or just surrounding the new hub. So I think this project's a great idea, and we should definitely go forward with it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. The next speaker I have on my list is Antonio Ramos. He's not a member of my immediate family, but we'll be glad to hear what he has to say. Antonio, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, my name
We
is
can barely
Antonio
hear you,
Ramos.
Antonio.
Hello, you hear me?
That's better.
Yeah, hi. My name is Antonio Ramos. ANTONIO RAMOS. No, we're not related.
Well, we may be.
Yeah, may, who knows? I think that we're all concerned about the environmental impact. And to me, this is a much needed project, because I believe this will obviously reduce traffic and thus carbon monoxide, as well as creating high-paying union jobs. Now, I don't live in the neighborhood, but I do understand the concerns to the residents that this project will impact, and agree with the previous caller about helping residents with some kind of training in order to probably work on this project after it's done for maintaining purposes. That being said, I thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. The next speaker I have on my list is Michael Waldire. Michael Waldire, are you there? We have Alan Wright coming up. Well, is this Alan Wright?
Yes, it is.
You're the next speaker. Spell your name, please, and give us your comments.
Yes, that's Allen, Allen, WRIGHT.
Please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, coming through with a little bit of an echo.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're still getting the echo though. If the stenographer can take down what you're saying.
Hello?
That's better. That is better, sir.
Much better.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alan Wright. I'm a business rep for IUOE Local 14B, which is the crane operators of New York. First, I want to express my appreciation for the opportunity to add my voice this evening, as well as the 1,400 skilled men and women within IUOE Local 14 and our brothers and sisters in the construction trades, all of whom stand in support of this long overdue project. Projects such as the air train not only instill confidence, but they create jobs, invigorate communities, and open doors to new opportunity. This project, which has been on the drawing board since 1947, will create 3,000 good paying construction jobs. Of the nearly $1.5 million in contracts already awarded by the Port Authority, more than 450,000 has gone to entities in Queens, with 50% of the new jobs going to local residents. This is how communities are built and cities remain strong. Despite COVID, New York City is not going away. In fact, when we defeat this pandemic, this great city will be even stronger and remain a magnet for those seeking to draw or build on that strength. And when they arrive at LaGuardia Airport, they will finally have a rail connection with access to both Penn and Grand Central Station. With 4,000 cars will be taken off local roadways, and the waterfront will also be enhanced. Our city was built on confronting great challenges. This is not a time to shy away. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ellen. Iqbal Mendez, are you available? Iqbal Mendez. Miguel Sanchez. Miguel, are you there? Omar Jones.
Hello?
Please spell your name for the record and give us your comments.
First name Omar, O-M-A-R. Last name Jones, J-O-N-E-S. And I'm a proud union member of Ironworkers Local 361, and I've worked at LaGuardia Airport. I'd like to say to the panel, first of all, thank you for allowing this to happen. I think people are losing the point. This is not something I've been thought about yesterday or tomorrow. They've been anticipating this, and this is a fantastic idea. I think it will definitely alleviate a lot of the traffic. I've worked at LaGuardia, and let me tell you, the Grand Central is definitely overcrowded and parking is unbearable. People are traveling on the expressway, scooters and all types just to get here. This is a very ingenious idea of alleviating all of this. I'm in tremendous support. I think it will give a lot of boost to the economy, and I think it's a great job, and I can't wait to work on it. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Marlon Smith. Marlon Smith.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Marlon Smith. Name is spelled M-A-R-L-O-N. Last name Smith, S-M-I-T-H. I am a managing director with JLC Infrastructure. We are an investor in infrastructure assets and projects across the country, and notably an investor and one of the owners of LaGuardia Gateway Partners, which currently operates Terminal B and is managing the redevelopment of that terminal. I'm also a frequent user of the airport, traveling to and from Manhattan to various places. I am in support of the development of the LaGuardia airplane project for several reasons. I think one, we do need a lower cost transit alternative for travelers and workers, which also provides a more consistent commuting time to the airport. Secondly, this project will take cars off the road, reduce all types of pollution, noise and otherwise. Three, I believe this project will support economic development, including the mentioned 3,000 jobs that are obviously very much needed as the region looks to rebound from the effects of the current pandemic. And I imagine that many of these jobs will benefit the Queens community. And lastly, when you look at all of those positives and you couple that with minimal environmental impact and limited displacement of homes and local businesses, I continue to believe that this project deserves to move forward. Thank you for allowing me to share my views.
Thank you very much. The next one on my list is Joseph Rando.
Hello. Yeah,
Name, spell your name, and give us your comments, please.
Joseph, Joseph, Rando, Rando. I'm here on behalf of the New York State Labor's Organizing Fund, the representative of Local 731. We're in full support of this project. Makes sense for a bunch of reasons. One, in an economic crisis, there's no better way to boost the economy by infrastructure. Creating 3,000 union jobs, MWBE jobs as well, so many contractors. And the ultimate goal is also to connect both airports with this rail system in the future. So it's a go for all projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we found Miguel Sanchez. Miguel, did we find you? Or did you find us? Miguel Sanchez. Then we'll try Jason Shea. We don't see Jason Shea there. James Buglino. Nicholas Appice. We're running out of volunteers, folks. We don't see Jason Shea. James Buglino, Nicholas Appice. We have some people who did register late. Oh, I have a couple more from the list. Patricia Ornst.
Yes, good evening.
Please spell your name for the record and let us have your comments.
Yes, my name is Patricia Ornst, Patricia. Last name Ornst. I'm the Managing Director of State and Local Government Affairs for Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines supports this project to bring mass transit access to the airport. The AirTrain will be a dependable ride for our customers and, more importantly, to our employees. This will also create new local Queens jobs and more opportunities for local MWBE firms. This airport deserves an efficient and dependable transit option. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Do we have Ileana Martinovera? These are handwritten notes, unfortunately. They're not. Or Joseph Rando? Or Marlon Smith?
Hello.
Who do we have here?
Can you hear me?
Just barely. You have to speak up a little louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. So
Okay.
you pretend you're mad at me and you'll come.
My kids are always telling me that I'm too loud.
No.
So anyway, Ileana, it's Ileana. Last name is hyphenated. It's Martin-NOV as in Victor OA. First of all, thank you for holding these hearings and for patiently and hearing everybody out and listening to the community. I just wanted to say, I'll be very brief, that I'm in full support of this project. I think it's the way to go and what we should be doing to provide effective public transportation to our hubs of travel, of airports and connecting the cities this way. This will provide job opportunities for the area, and it'll reduce traffic and noise pollution and reduce our region's carbon footprint, which is such an important thing to be doing right now in this, considering what's happening to our environment. And that's all I have to say. So thank you to the Port Authority for this project.
Thank you, Ileana.
Okay.
I'll go back to our original list. Annette Gill, are you here? You were one of the earliest people to register, and you didn't appear yesterday or the day before. Leo Sang and Fred Hetzel, are any of you, the three of you here? All right, there are some people who registered late, and I'm going to try to see if we can get through some of them before we have to end. Thomas Beach. Thomas, are you there? Remember *9 or *6, depending on what type of device you're using. Then someone has come in as Galaxy A1 or A10E. Somebody's getting high tech with us. Galaxy, are you there? David McFadden. It looks like McPadden, but I don't know if it's McPadden or McFadden. Darren Lang. If any of you are here, try to break through to our monitors and we'll put you up. Galaxy, you're here. Can we have Galaxy?
Edwin Rodriguez, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Okay. My name is Edwin Rodriguez. It's spelled Edwin. Last name is Rodriguez, Rodriguez. With the local 3 IBEW. I'm in favor of this. I think it's going to lessen the traffic flow in New York City. I think it's also going to be favorable as far as for a more reasonable fare rate for people trying to commute to the LaGuardia. And as far as like the traffic on the Grand Central, it'll cut down on people and the traffic flow on the Grand Central, because if you ever been on the Grand Central Parkway, the cabs on there are just like crazy. So I think that might be good. And I think the jobs that is going to create, the city needs it, especially during this time with the pandemic and going forward. I think that it's just a very good plan. I think that the city of New York needs it. I think that is a starting point for better things to come as well. And that's basically what I have to say. I think that it should be also done through union labor as well. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. Thomas Beach. Do we have a Thomas Beach out here? David looks like McFadden, but it could be McPadden. But I doubt it. Probably McFadden. Darren Lang. Matthew Norton. Deborah Bradley. Lindley Brathwaite. John Rodriguez. It is David McPadden, question mark. I'm not sure.
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Yes, John Rodriguez here.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Spell your name. Spell your name for the stenographer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's JOHNRODRIGUEZ. I'd like to say I am a labor organizer with the New York State Laborers Organizing Fund, and I am also a proud member of the Laborers Union Local 731 in New York City. My organizations and I are in full support of the LaGuardia Air Train project for the obvious reasons of job creation for over 3,000 construction workers and also continued maintenance jobs once it's completed. Also, we believe that the air train will help relieve most of the traffic congestion created by the high volume of car travelers getting to and from the airport. In conclusion, we politely encourage the powers that be to approve the air train project. Good paying jobs and a boost in our local economy depend highly on this project to move forward. I thank you for your time, and I wish you all a great evening.
Thank you, John. Fleance Mason, George Kraft, and Corey Grant. If I've spoken, if I've mentioned your name, please try to get through hit *9 or *6, depending on the phone you're using, and or get on the Zoom.
The host would like you to
Wow, we're getting some really bad feedback. Make sure you have only one microphone on.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you about 6 or 7 times. It just keeps echoing.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
That's better. That's much better. Please spell your name and give us your comments. No, we lost her. Oy.
This is Fleance Mason. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, my name is Fleance Mason. My name is spelled F as in Frank, L-E-A-N as in Nancy, C as in cat, E. Last name Mason, M-A-S-O-N.
Your comments, please.
Yes, well, as a minority-owned business owner, I have a few points that I would like to make about the AirTran initiative within the community. One of the things I was thinking about in regards to the community is how would it affect the air quality? Also, just to touch bases on the business aspect of it, as a minority-owned business owner, I wanted to know how would the community be affected by, as a businessman, how would I be allowed to come in and get involved with the initiative in regards to providing opportunities to employment for local community residents. I think that also we have to keep in mind that we can't compromise certain things in regards to this initiative, as someone said earlier, as quality of life. What are we doing to have it in place in regards to air quality? What are we doing to make sure that everyone is protected in that aspect? But I believe that I truly am for the initiative, and just the traffic alone within the community, it will help relieve some of the traffic that's rerouted through the neighborhood, through the area, because the Grand Central Parkway is constantly a mess. I also think that we should have some things in place in regards to benefiting the community as something that will be in respect to community center, to protect those and to help those who are most affected by these initiatives as well, our seniors and our youth, who are destined to be our leaders in the future. So I think these are a few points that I think we should make in regards to this initiative.
Thank you very much. I wonder if Thomas King is listening to the Zoom meeting, or you want to you listed as someone who wanted to speak. If you do, let us know. Also,
Corey Grant is here.
This is
Corey Grant.
Corey Grant.
Yes. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
My name is Corey Grant, spelled C-O-R-Y-G-R-A-N-T. I'm with the New York State Laborers, Nice Loft, member of District Council number 16, Local 6A, Cement and Concrete Workers. I'm in total favor of this project. It will not only employ over 300 union members, it would also create a much faster commute to the wonderful city of New York and Long Island. It would decrease the flow of traffic on the Grand Central Parkway, Triborough Bridge, and surrounding roads. This will create a great opportunity for existing union members to continue their careers, also new members to start one. The monies that will be made on this project will better the economy in New York and its surrounding areas. United we stand, divided we fall. Let's get this project that will not just help me, but will help all. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Corey. Calling out again for Thomas King, Connie Crawford, Alexander Bruno. We'd love to hear from you. Michael Waldire, Jason Shea. They named the stadium after him. James Bulino, Nicholas Apice, Frank Taylor. Did we hear from Frank? No. Hillary Exter. Hillary, are you there? Folks, I think we're going to take a break and, well, we've got 10 more minutes. If somebody is Christopher Boyles, Christopher, if you're on, or is it Boylan?
Hello?
Yes,
this is.
It's Boylan. Christopher, did we hear from you already? No. I don't think so. Anyway, if you're on and you want to say something, we'd be more than happy to hear what you have to say.
Thank you so much. So let me spell my name for you again. It's Christopher, Christopher. Last name is Boylan, Boylan. And I'm here today on behalf of the General Contractors Association of New York and the 300 member firms and their over 25,000 unionized skilled trades employees and professionals build New York's roads, bridges, tunnels, airports, rail and transit systems since 1909. We also co-chair the Better Way to LaGuardia Coalition, and right up front, let me urge the FAA to advance this critical infrastructure project. There are numerous reasons why the air train will be beneficial to both Queens and the greater New York region. Certainly, the GCA supports it because of the anticipated 3,000 good-paying, steady, middle-class construction careers, and not just jobs that it would create for Queens and metropolitan residents. We also support it because of the mobility benefits that AirTrain provides to our members, their employees, and their families. Keep in mind that we live, work, and educate our children here in the metro region, and we use the roads, transit systems, and airports in the region every day too. We also support the project for the broader economic benefit to the Queens, New York City, and the entire region's economies, as it would help facilitate commerce into and out of the nation's largest business district. We support it for the environmental benefits of fewer cars on the road and therefore a reduction in air and noise pollution. We support it because it will help eliminate many, many thousands of wasted commuting hours for the over 10,000 employees who report for work at LaGuardia every day. We support it because of the proven success of the JFK and Newark air trains that the Port Authority runs. They've outstripped even the most optimistic writer projections, and millions of travelers, 60 million passengers alone, have taken JFK air train, all of whom would have had to otherwise come by car, taxi, or inadequate and lengthy shuttle bus services. And the connections to the MTA Long Island Railroad and the MTA's E, J, and Z subway lines for that air train have not overtaxed the system. Finally, I want to dispel a couple of erroneous claims that have been made about the project, not just tonight, but in the past. And I base this on the fact that I was at the MTA for 21 years and was intimately involved in many of the public discussions about alternative rail train lines to LaGuardia. And the primary one was extending the N and W lines from its terminus. None are or were a one-seat ride unless an individual lived atop one of the originating stations. Aside from the fact that the N&W line extensions would ignore travelers from most of Queens, Brooklyn, as well as Nassau and Suffolk counties, the N&W line extension, for example, is only a one-seat ride if you live atop one of those stations. New Yorkers are largely comfortable with switching train lines to get to their destinations, and the transfer from the air train to the MTA systems included in this project goes further by making the connections as seamless as possible. Secondly,
we're really running short on time, and we do have some other people who want to speak.
okay, have I hit the 3 minutes yet?
You passed it.
I passed it, okay. Let me just wrap it up then. My apologies for going over. Bottom line is that not seizing the opportunity to build this alternative now would be unfortunate and irresponsible. And we wholly support the project and urge the FAA to advance it. And thanks for letting me go over a few minutes. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Aaron Sullivan sent us a Q&A message. We don't have you on the list, but is Aaron available? Aaron Sullivan? They claim to have pre-registered. I don't find them on the list. Nuala Odori?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Spell your name for the court, for the stenographer.
Sure. My name is Nuala O'Doherty Naranjo. It's Nuala O''DOHERTY hyphen Naranjo, Naranjo. Thanks for slipping me in at the very end. So I'm a longtime resident of Jackson Heights, and I've been a neighbor of LaGuardia for decades now. And we understand the importance LaGuardia has, not only here in the neighborhood, for the city, but the entire region. And we've lived next door to LaGuardia when it was reconstructed on postage stamps. We've been through the vibrations, the dust, the noise. And as a neighbor, we understand that. But we want to make sure that you understand that this plan does nothing to help us here, the neighbors of LaGuardia. I do not foresee this helping the traffic in any way. It's a backwards boondoggle of a plan to bring an air train to go out to Bullet Point. In fact, we're going to suffer. We're going to suffer in a number of ways. We're going to suffer because we will have construction. We will suffer because we will lose access to Flushing Bay. We will suffer because we will have increased traffic on the 7 train, which is already overcrowded during normal times. The idea of trying to put passengers with luggage on a 7 train is bizarre. So why then do this very expensive air train? Look, we would all love better public transportation options to LaGuardia. We'd love the gold standard, right? The single seat subway ride for $2.75 directly to the airport. That's not this plan. This plan is expensive. It goes the wrong way. It's going to hurt people here in our neighborhood when there are such cheaper options. And we've tried to bring these up to the FAA. I'm a member of the community board. I've been attending these meetings for years, and we do not feel like we've been heard. We do not feel like rational plans have been considered. And anytime we bring them up, we're kind of poo-pooed. And I think it's important that we go back and just say, why can't we increase bus service? Why can't we work to have a real plan, not this half-baked $2 billion boondoggle, which won't help anyone? So as a neighbor, we're asking you to scrap this plan, keep the bus service we have now, maybe increase it, and go for something much, much better. So we really have public transportation that's easy, accessible, that would help neighbors here in the neighborhood by increasing our transit system, and really go for something good, not this half-baked plan. Thank you for your time, and thanks for making sure I fit in tonight.
Thank you. We have Eric Antokal. Eric, do we have you there? Somebody's telling me that you're available.
You all hear me or no?
Yes, we hear you. Fine.
Okay, excellent. First of all, thank you all so much for the time. My name is Eric I'm the Assistant Vice President of Programs at Non-Traditional Employment for Women, and I'm testifying on their behalf as well as on behalf of our community of over 3,000 graduates. It's great to see our friends in organized labor and at Delta Airlines and Hirsch from the Port Authority. Definitely thank you all. We are in support of this project and in support of establishing strong diversity goals for labor on this project. So there are limited opportunities for low income and Black and brown women in particular to obtain secure jobs that provide a wage and essential benefits, particularly those without a college education or those who have been impacted by the criminal punishment system. And careers in the union trades, as you've heard from the brothers and sisters here tonight, are really something that can generate a middle-class career track where options may otherwise be scarce. Our graduates on average start their wages at $19 an hour, which all have excellent benefits, union trade partners, and come with a predictable advancement path that leads to careers where they make excellent middle-class wages. And so we are in support of this project, but we also want to say that an impactful approach to maximizing the community impact of the project is to set diversity goals. And our partners, the Building and Construction Trades Council of Greater New York and their affiliates, have a really long history of recruiting and training our graduates and the graduates of other pre-apprenticeship programs, some of whom are on the call tonight, to recruit from the local communities that are impacted by these projects, whose community members want a piece of this project to help launch their careers. So each apprenticeship program reserves spots in their apprenticeship programs from our program. 15% of all incoming apprentices come from new, and that's the case with other pre-apprenticeships as well. That commitment to diversity is a really strong one, and we encourage the LaGuardia project team to set a similarly strong goal. So we, again, are in support of this project and in support of our brothers and sisters in the building trades. And I, again, thank you for your time and hope everyone gets home safe.
Thank you, Eric. David Diamond. David, are you there? David Diamond.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear.
Yes. I'm in favor of this project. I think it should move forward. New York City has always had access to LaGuardia Airport as a problem. And I believe that it is the only major airport on the East Coast of the United States that doesn't have a rail link. I think that's something to look at. I think public transportation is very important. I think the congestion and the traffic in the area needs to be alleviated. That's my comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. Cody Herman. Do we have Cody Herman available? Not. Aretha? We'll try Aretha. Apparently she was cut off. Cody Herman, if not, Lindley Brathwaite.
Hello?
Who do we have here?
Lindley Brathwaite?
I think I recognize your name from yesterday. Is that possible?
I was not here yesterday. I am here today.
It's a name, it'd be hard to forget your name. Anyway.
Okay.
Spell your name.
Absolutely. LYNLEY BRATHWAITE. Okay. I've heard quite a few popped in. I'm yet another fraud structural iron worker out of local 361, and I've been in and out of LaGuardia quite a few times since their development has started. And I am rigidly in support of this this project. I've seen first-handedly, as many have said prior. I'm also adding to advocating the relief of traffic congestion. This new addition to the JFK, to that airway, to that air train addition will provide. And that's a much needed relief. I mean, apart from apart from yet another complementary logic to the development layout of this project would be to really consider strategic park and ride outlets for the visionary growth of what this airtrain development will eventually become. What it will be in 5 years will not what it will be in 10. This will grow. And I mean, added to the relief of the congestion that I referred to earlier on, traffic congestion, will be this, park and ride outlets where people could have the advantage of driving in, parking their car, and still be able to use that train rather than having to drive all the way into the city. Or that's part of the vision aspect that I see that will complement this whole thing, and that's my contribution to this.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good day. To all, stay safe. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Aretha Warham, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, good evening. I've been waiting. My name is Aretha, Aretha Wareham, Wareham. I'm a resident of the East Elmhurst community for over 40 years. I was quite happy to see the redevelopment of the LaGuardia Airport. It was long overdue. I travel quite often and was always dismayed with the condition of LaGuardia every time I returned. Today, it is a pleasant sight to see, and it has truly brought the airport to the 21st century. The air train issue has its pros and cons, but right now my concern is how will our community benefit? For many years, we've experienced several large developments growing around this community, and yet personally, I've not actually seen any substantial advantages from these mega developments for the community. So I like to talk about community benefits. Jobs, jobs, jobs. I understand that the LaGuardia redevelopment team hosts job recruitments from time to time. However, it's imperative that this remains a long-term program, which would also involve trade apprenticeship programs for higher paid construction jobs at LaGuardia Airport. COVID is very real, and it has devastated many families who will not be able to return to the jobs they had before the pandemic. I think a community center is needed in East Elmhurst, a center that would house a larger senior facility and youth activities and services. Community land has been used to build additional schools, stadiums, housing, and apartment buildings that many of the community families cannot afford. A trend that has been going on for years, and still yet our seniors and youth have been forgotten. I would like to see a community seat at the table for input on any further construction at LaGuardia, which directly affects us, as we are your closest neighbors. Our voices should be heard. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss our concerns at this public hearing. I'm optimistic with the growth of LaGuardia Airport, and there will also be growth within our community that will be advantageous for all us all. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Aretha. Sherry Best, are you there? Sherry? If not, Matthew Vose or Aaron Sullivan?
This is Sherry Best. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Sherry Best. My name is spelled S-H-E-R-I. My last name is B like boy, E-S-T. I'm here as a very long time New York resident and employee for many, many years. Currently, I work in a business that's based in Long Island City. It's called Carter, Milchman and Frank. It is a nearly 100-year-old industrial construction tool and supply house. We primarily supply public sector projects. We do a lot of business at LaGuardia Airport, and we're hoping to be able to similarly get business out of JFK work once that resumes full force. I think there are lots of the folks who spoke before me basically touched the same topics. the air train is sorely needed to produce a viable public transport route to a major airport in the Northeast. It's kind of unthinkable that an airport position does LaGuardia, especially with all of the improvements and renovations now, that it would not have a public transport route to get there that reduces traffic and provides a more economical path to the airport. It's great for jobs. So I would say that that's kind of the sum for me. It creates business for local businesses. It creates, it reduces traffic, and it creates a viable route to the airport that's not subject to the ordeal that we all face on the Grand Central and other routes, other roadways to the airport. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, thanks very much for your time.
You bet. Next, I think we have Matthew Vose. Matthew, are you there?
I'm Aaron Sullivan. I'm here.
Good. Then we'll have Aaron Sullivan. Spell your
Okay,
name,
so
please.
I came into Local 3 21 years ago. I was a
Aaron, can
domestic
you spell your name for the stenographer? She needs it.
Erin, ERIN, Sullivan, SULLIVAN.
Thank you.
So I came to Local 3 21 years ago, and I was a domestic worker, and I was working to live and living to work. And I came in, I joined Local 3, and today I have a very nice life. Non-union doesn't hire women, and that's a reality. There are pathways into the apprenticeship. So I know for the people in the community who say, you know, what is it going to do for my community? I mean, we hire veterans, we hire women. We have pathways to apprenticeships that hire people from the local community. So that's a big myth that there's no way into the apprenticeship. So I ask that if this project does move forward, that we give women and minorities equal pay and equal say, an opportunity for advancement. Those are things that non-union jobs just simply do not give. They look to exploit and to make as much money as they can and build it cheaper. So that's my pitch. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Do we have Melissa Shelter available? Melissa, are you there?
Hello, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Excellent, thank you so much. So my name is Melissa, MELISSA, Shetler, SHETLER. I am the Executive Director of Pathways to Apprenticeship, a direct entry pre-apprenticeship provider, which directly serves residents of the 5 boroughs of New York City to help them gain access to union construction apprenticeship programs with the New York City Building Trades affiliates. Our graduates are 80% from low-income neighborhoods, 60% from the reentry community, and about 30% are public housing residents. We believe the LaGuardia Access Improvement Project is a vital infrastructure upgrade. It would improve travel times to LaGuardia Airport, decrease roadway congestion, and increase accessibility to the airport. In addition to improving the travel time to LaGuardia and providing a more reliable public transportation option, the construction itself is anticipated to support over 3,000 union jobs. And this means more apprenticeship opportunities. We've had productive dialogues with the Port Authority about community benefits as it relates to local hiring. And we know that our partners in the building trades and in the Apprenticeship Readiness Collective, here on the call with us, Non-Traditional Employment for Women, Construction Skills, and Hormats to Hard Hats, are all committed to partnering to make sure these opportunities are extended to community members. Pathways to Apprenticeship trains and places local residents in career opportunities. And we see this project as a vital economic driver, which would aid us in that mission, and in particular with our nonprofit partners in Queens and local public housing residents who would greatly benefit from expanded career opportunities. We're excited to see infrastructure investment in our communities and to continue growing the pathways to the career opportunities possible for local residents. We thank you again for the opportunity to testify in support of the LaGuardia Access Improvement Project, and we urge you to approve this important project. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. Do we have Dave Broderick available? Dave, are you there? Or Darren Lang? Dave or Darren?
Hello.
Hello, Darren.
Hello, how you doing tonight?
We're doing fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. My name is Darren Lang, DARRINLANG. I am an elected official and a member of good standing for 27 years now with Local 361 Ironworkers. Just want to say this train will create revenue, jobs, less traffic, and easy access to the city and other desirable destinations. That's all I have. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Darren. One more. Dave Broderick, are you there? Or Matthew Vose? Dave or Matthew, are you there? I get the feeling this is starting to run down.
Hello, Charles.
David.
Hi, this is David McCann. You called me out earlier, but it pulled somebody in at the same time. So my name is David, DAVID, MCPADDEN. I'm also with local union number 3, the IBEW. And I'd like to say I approve of this project. I believe that when we look at what's happening in the world around us in our environment, reducing mass transit would be an appropriate opportunity for us. Having the jobs become union jobs and giving everyone else benefits, minorities, women, all the other opportunities available. The reduced traffic between the airports, say the airport needs to change the route of flight, something happens somewhere. We'll be able to do that. Tourism benefits for people who travel around the world, being able to come in, and either way they go, that we will also get small businesses to receive more benefits of that nature. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you guys staying extra late for us.
That's all right. Thank you. Dave Broderick. Dave, do we have you out there? Darren Lang? I heard some noise. Come on. Dave or Darren? John Spiller? Who's this? Who's this?
John Spiller.
Let her rip.
All right, John Spiller, JOHN SPILLER. I'm in favor of this. All my reasons have been mentioned tonight. It'll open up apprenticeships, it'll create jobs, it'll alleviate congestion. So it's a no-brainer. Let's do this.
Thank you, John.
Okay, and dump Trump in 2020.
Hello.
Who is this?
This is Andrew Benny.
Andrew?
Thank
Please
you.
spell your name to stenographer and let's have a comment.
First name's Andrew. Sure. First name's Andrew, ANDREW. Last name is BENNIE. So I just wanted to just share I'm a East Elmhurst resident. I've lived here for about, say, 7-8 years now. We've been through the LGA sort of construction. I have a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, small business owner, work from home. You know, in the age of COVID, we're not going to the office, so we're at home now. So we hear the construction, the pile driving, the effects on our home, potentially for our neighbors as well. We've had to replace our pipes, our copper pipes that connect to the water line twice in the last, I think 3 times in the last 11 years. We don't know the potential effects that this construction has on it. Obviously, the sound is an issue. You know, my daughter gets up at 7, that's fine, but sometimes it starts a little earlier. Just want to put my voice out there and make sure there are considerations for sound, possible obviously pollution effects, but also the things we don't see. So it's not only eminent domain, potentially what you can't see under the ground, potentially pipes and ill effects from the construction. So I just want to make sure that any potential economic impact also considers that in the future.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else that wants to speak? I think we've covered almost everyone.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening. My name is Dave Broderick.
Oh, there you are, Dave. Wonderful.
Good evening, Your Honor. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is David Broderick. I am a officer of local ironworkers, Local 361. I'm presently the shop steward over at LaGuardia project right now. And
Dave, can I
the job that we're doing is top notch. And I think this project needs to go through. The traffic in the morning leaving Long Island to get on the Grand Central, as everybody knows, it's a disaster. And people walking on the side of the Grand Central to catch their planes or going to work, it's very dangerous. And this would relieve that. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Someone has called in on a 516 area code. We don't know who it is, but if you've just called in from either Nassau or Suffolk, oh, that was Dave Broderick. Oh, okay. So that takes care of him. Bob, is there anybody else we should be calling out? Matthew.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Spell your name for the stenographer and let us have your comments, please.
Yes, my name is Matthew Vousset, Mattthew. Last name V as in Victor, Ouse. I'm a local 3 member. I live here in Fairfield County in Connecticut, and I just wanted to highlight I had come from Connecticut to LaGuardia Thanksgiving a couple of years. I took the M60 bus after getting off at 125th Street in Harlem. It was pandemonium, to say the least. Very challenging commute. I had my kids gratefully because people were like, wow, this guy has kids. But to have the air train to get to LaGuardia would make it a seamless process in transportation. And thank you for hearing me, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Matthew. Bob, is there anyone else? I'm being told now that was the last person asking to speak. Okay, folks, it is 7:22 p.m. The time allotted for this hearing has ended. Additional comments can be submitted as identified on the project website at www.lgaaccess, that's ACCESS, EIS.com by 5 p.m. on October 5, 2020. Thank you all for attending this public hearing. This concludes the public hearing on the LaGuardia Airport Access Improvement Project Draft Environmental Impact Statement. Good night, everyone. Stay healthy.